Great Awakening fam. How is everybody this great day? I'm coming to bring you some commentary to make you think so you can focus and put the dots together, because I have been doing some studying and praying, because that's what I do. I told you, in the night, ain't no sleep in the night. It's doing the Father's will. So let's get into this. All right. The topic today is the Center of Disease Control. The epidemiologist that was found dead. What is an epidemiologist? When disease breaks out or threats emerge. Disease detectives, epidemiologists search for the causes of disease, identify people who are at risk, determine how to stop the spread or prevent it from happening again. Okay. Monday, June the 4th, 2018, at 8 p.m., Timothy Cunningham was said to have a struggle with his sexuality. He landed a promotion and allegedly lives with a chronic disease. What chronic disease was never said. Nevertheless, family and friends told police. He worked for the Center of Disease Control. Allegedly, he killed himself, according to Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. The Atlanta Constitution show how the investigation unfolded. Timothy was 35 years old, was missing from his home in Atlanta in February. Over 7 weeks later, Timothy Cunningham's body was pulled from the Chattahoochee River. They say he drowned. Upon their investigation that began February the 14th, 2018. After a 6-week investigation, interview with family, friends, and co-workers, they never said the family's name or the co-workers, most of them. Nevertheless, his friend Tiana told police over the phone that Timothy said, quote, "You have to figure things out for yourself," unquote. He was speaking to his best female friend at the time. Timothy Cunningham and Tiana was said to be close. Tiana thought her brother, which was older than her, sounded paranoid when he said, quote, "You have to figure things out for yourself." When the parents of Timothy Cunningham tried with no avail to reach their son, they drove from Maryland to his house in Atlanta. When they gained interest in his house, his personal items, Mr. Bojangles, his dog that he loved, and his SUV was left behind. The parents noticed, quote, some of his clothes was hanging out the trash can, unquote. I have 2 or 3 questions about that. If he left his keys, his dog that he loved, and his SUV, where was he going? On foot. And he could swim. How did he drown? And how did he get from his house to the Chattahoochee River? How far is it from his house in Atlanta to the Chattahoochee River? I couldn't find a distance. Nevertheless, after they seen some of his clothes was hanging out the trash can next to the garage, his parents said Timothy was nowhere to be found. The billion-dollar question is, how did Timothy Cunningham wound up in the Chattahoochee River dead? Because he did. He knew how to swim. We may never know. 2 days after his body was found. So if it was 2 days after his body was found, that would be February 16th. Michael O'Connor replied, April the 5th, 2018. Did his job have something to do with this? Because after all, he did have a high position in the C.D.C. Nevertheless, the only reason this became national headlines is his job at the C.D.C., the Center of Disease Control in Atlanta. Speculations were prevalent because he worked for the Center of Disease Control. Timothy Cunningham's duties was to pay attention and research health, despair related to race, psychoeconomic, psychoeconomic status, gender, and geographics. Let me get clear on, I want to be clearer on what his job title consisted of. Let me say those things again. Health despair related to race, social economics status, social economic status, gender, and geography. Geography, He also taught undergraduate class at Morehouse Spelman College and University. Let me stop and iterate a little bit here. So his job title was to one, pay attention, close attention, and research health despair related to race, socioeconomic status, gender, and geography. So if he was studying geography and so forth, he knew a lot about here and there, because geography concerns traveling and places. People, places, and things was a short term, a noun, to describe his very important job. In 2010, Timothy Cunningham joined the C.D.C. He was the leader of the team in the epidemiology and surveillance branch of the Center of Disease Control Division of Population. On February 7, 2018, a week after he went missing, he resigned from a special team that included deploying to areas in need. What area in need was never said. He quit a top flight, chance of a lifetime job by sending an email to Richard Donville, Richard Donville said he sounded frustrated. In fact, he tried to convince him to stay. A little while longer. If he would have stayed just more months, he would have received a service award in June, just 4 more months. Quote, but he sounded too ready to leave, unquote. That's what Richard Donville said. Quote, he sounded too ready to leave. A chance of a lifetime job for a 35-year-old melanated scholar. Better than that, did he get agitated while he was at work or just when he made it to his house? Because that's unclear to me too, according to the reports. Because remember, let's go back some. He sent an email to his top flight chance of a lifetime job to Richard Donville, which is his, I guess, superior, supervisor, which said he sounded frustrated. In fact, he would have, if he would have stayed more months, he would have received a service award in June. Now, for myself, if I had a job, I'm thinking, try to make this make sense to me. Because if I had a top flight job, chance of a lifetime, I'm highly educated. I'm so educated that I'm teaching undergraduates at a prestigious college like Morehouse University. I understand you was frustrated. Where did you get frustrated, and what did you get frustrated about? That you would send an email to your boss saying that you quit? Moving on. And if he would have stayed 4 more months, he would have received a service award in June. Because remember, this happened February the 7th, 2018. The next day, after he sent the email to his superior boss that he wasn't coming back, or he just walked out of frustration. And if he just walked out of frustration, what frustrated him to the point that he would give up a life, one in a lifetime job, not to mention superior pay and all the other, things that came along with his job as the Center of Disease Control. Nevertheless, the next day, Timothy Cunningham was told he didn't get a promotion. The next day, after he had walked out, or was he still in the office? Because he sent the email, so I'm assuming he wasn't in the office. I'm not clear on that. Nevertheless, the next day, Timothy Cunningham was told he didn't get a promotion. By the way, Commander Richard Dunville was his supervisor. Janet, Janet, because I say Janet, but it could be Jeanette. Nevertheless, Janet Croft told investigators, this is Janet Croft talking, she also said he was considering finding a job in D.C. to be closer to his parents. With that level of education, he could have worked anywhere in the world. He could have stayed on in the position he was with a little elevation and sent his parents home. But what 35-year-old male wants to stick around mom and dad? And remember, his parents was older, because his father was well educated, and the mother too, to a level, but the father was well educated. And I will do a part 2, because I'm going to do some more digging so I could give you more information about Timothy Cunningham's parents, his siblings, and his best friend. Moving on. 2 days later, after he found out he didn't get this promotion, 2 days later, Janice said she got a text from him saying, I'm still not feeling 100%. I won't be in the office today, quote unquote. I'm still not feeling 100%. I won't be in the office today. Now, no one said that he was sick or he hadn't gave any clue to him not feeling well. But let's move on. If all happened exactly like they're saying, we're talking about a well-educated man with so much potential. He could work anywhere, let alone starting his own business, etc., 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 with that type of education. Let's talk about his personal struggles. Timothy's best friend, Nell Reed, February the 9th. This is 2 more days. Remember, that was February the 7th, so here we is 2 more days. Because he wound up missing February the 14th. That's why I'm repeating the dates so you could follow the story better and the timing. Nevertheless, February the 9th, 2018, the same day he allegedly refused to come in for work, Nell sent him pictures because she gave birth to her baby, which he was to be the godfather to. Timothy congratulated her. So if she sent him some pictures of the baby, was it to his phone? Because remember, he's at home saying he's not 100% and he's not coming in. So did she send the pictures to his phone? Or would it be in 2018? It's possible you could have sent it to a printer, but most likely not, because, you know, as this technology grows, everything is done either on the computer or the phone. But moving on, just food for thought. Anyway, she gave birth to a baby girl. But the day after she gave birth, she said Timothy was missing days after she shared with him the pictures of the baby girl, because he was to be the godfather of this baby. The godfather, that means if I choose a godparent for my child, in case anything untimely or, you know, would happen to me, I'm trying to pick somebody stable, capable, have the physical, spiritual, and emotional know-how to be responsible in the case that I would have sickness or untimely death, that this person will step up and be the parent to this child. That's the purpose of picking Godfather. But let's move on. Neil said Timothy struggled with his sexuality, and in 2010, he had a nervous breakdown. Neil Reed said him and her discussed. This is his best friend. This is the person that was going to be the godfather to her child. Neil Reed was. Neil said him and her discussed how he felt about men. What did y'all discuss? Wasn't said. Nevertheless. But Timothy said he didn't feel he was gay. So with that being said, he may have had tendencies, because he didn't look like a person that experienced a whole lot in the world. My observation of him, that he was highly educated. He had no time for partying, women, and, boogie, oogie, oogie, because of his responsibilities to himself, his job, let alone his parents. That's elderly. But let's move on. So, Miss Reed said that he had discussed his sexuality and how he felt about men, and that he didn't feel as though he was gay. She said he was considering getting back with a former classmate from Morehouse. If he was considering getting back, that means that you had been with him before? Okay, you getting back with the classmate from Morehouse. He had he had been to Timothy's house. This mystery man, because they never said his name or what position. I guess he was one of the students at school. Nevertheless, moving on. She said Timothy began to question whether he was playing with him, Timothy. Timothy began to question whether this classmate that he wanted to get back with was playing with his emotions. Moving on. The classmate allegedly came on to Timothy, in a flirtatious way, because, I could think two things about this. I could think if he came on to him because he wanted to test and see, was he gay or attracted sexually to men? Or did he like him and then just backed off? Let's move on some. About 2 weeks before Timothy disappeared would mean that it was around the 1st of February, because he went missing on the 14th. The classmate allegedly blocked Timothy's number. Listen good what I'm saying. Timothy supposedly said to his best friend that he feel something's not right with this classmate at Morehouse because it made him feel as though he was playing with his emotions. And then 2 weeks before Timothy disappeared, the classmate allegedly blocked Timothy's number. The classmate said he did block the number. He didn't want to be confrontational with Timothy Cunningham because they associated with the same people in their circle. You know, because some people, this is 2020. Everybody gay. For the lay, for the stay, for the pay. Anyway. Food for thought. The classmate from Morehouse said he did block the number. He didn't want to be confrontational because they associated with the same people and ran in the same circle. In the report, the officer said Timothy made some slight advances towards the classmate. In other words, the classmate rejected him. Listen closely, and blocked his number. February the 9th, 2018, Timothy saw this same day, all this happened on February the 9th, you know, where his best friend, which is a girl, Nell Reed, had a baby girl. She contacted him somehow and sent him some pictures of her baby girl. He wound up at El Bar, E-L, Bar in Atlanta. While he was there, the classmate and a woman, now this is Nell talking. This is not him talking, of course, because he's missing. So somebody talking. Hold on, because I want to be clear. Oh, okay. Because remember, the officer said Timothy made an advance towards this classmate. So I don't know who is saying on the 9th Timothy saw the person, the classmate, while he was sitting alone at the L Bar in Atlanta. While he was there, the classmate and a woman came in the bar. They shook hands. And 2 days later, February the 10th, Timothy asked the man, could they go out for breakfast? And he declined. Let me read that to you again, because I got hearing ears. So I want to read that again. On the 9th, Timothy saw the classmate while he was sitting alone at the L Bar in Atlanta. While he was there, the classmate and a woman came in the bar. They shook hands, which Timothy asked the classmate February the 10th, a day later. So this may have been afternoon or evening. It could have been night. They didn't say what time. Nevertheless, on the 9th, you see the man with a female at a bar. And y'all shook hands and went y'all way, went about your business. The next day, February the 10th, he asked the man out for breakfast and he declined. That don't make sense to me. If this classmate from Morehouse is avoiding you like the plague, don't forget that he blocked your number. So did Timothy Cunningham walk up to his door unannounced and ask him, can they go to breakfast? Food for thought. Nevertheless, moving on. Again, this don't make sense if the man blocked Timothy's number. How was he able to contact a person that made it clear by blocking his number? So did he walk up to the man's door saying he didn't want to be bothered with him? The sister, they never wrote the sister's name down. It just said the sister said she know her brother was trying to get a classmate for 2 women at Timothy's job. She said he wanted to start dating again. Now, it's a conflict of interest because the best friend, which he would have been the child she bore on the 9th, godfather. The sister is trying to rectify a statement that was made in the morning, because you have breakfast in the morning on the 10th, the next day, after he saw the classmate with a woman at the bar. He shook his hand, they went about their business. So that morning, he contacted this person. How? But the sister is saying that he wanted to start dating again and that he was trying to connect with a woman at his job and hook the classmate from Morehouse up with the other woman. Remember, it was 2 women at his job. That don't make sense to me either, because why would the best friend, y'all gotta be real close, you finna sign, because that's a legal document for a godparent, because at the baptism of the baby, legal documents is signed that if anything should happen to this wife and husband or this person, etc., that this person has legal right to step in as this baby's parent, because that's what a godparent does. Nevertheless, on April the 15th, they found Timothy's body floating in the Chattahoochee River. And yeah, they found his body floating in the Chattahoochee River on the 15th of April. And when they found the body, now listen, they're saying he was missing February the 14th, that the parents had came, so they evidently had keys to this young man's house in order, or they let them in. Nevertheless, they was in their son's house and noticed that he left his beloved dog, and I believe he loved that dog because you ain't got no woman in there, you ain't got no kids in there, so that was your best friend. A dog is a man's best friend, Mr. Bojangles. Nevertheless, and they saw his SUV still there. So now they're looking for him, and April the 5th, 2 days after Cunningham's body was found, did his job play a role? This story quickly made national headlines due to his job at the C.D.C. And they spoke with Michael O'Connor on April the 5th, 2 days after Cunningham's body was found. I'm sorry, I said April the 15th. I meant to say April the 3rd, 2 days after his body was found, April the 5th. They was asking questions, did his job play a role? And it became national headlines quickly, and speculation about the connection between his work and C.D.C. and his disappearance were very aware of the conspiracy theory, O'Connor said February the 27th news conference. In the February the 27th, 2018 news conference. And tipsters from around the world was claiming they had seen the young man. Maybe they thought they did. A woman in Hawaii said she believed Cunningham was her new neighbor, according to the police file. So it was false findings of him because he was already, according to autopsy, been in this water for almost a month. But this is the part I want to break down to you. So they searched for him for helicopters. On the 3rd of April, 2 fishermen spotted the body tangled in debris in the Chattahoochee River and alerted the police. Now, 2 fishermen was just, out there in the Chattahoochee River fishing. And to be honest, I never heard of the Chattahoochee River until Prince was singing about it in a song. And I saw a Prince movie, and he told Apollonia she got to take off all her clothes and jump in the Chattahoochee River. Anyway, an autopsy determined it was Cunningham. Cunningham's body was decomposed. No signs of trauma, like bruises or other wounds. How you distinguish this on a decomposed body? It wasn't no bruises or none of that on this man, but he was decomposed. When you decompose and been laying in water for almost a month, that body had to be blown up to kingdom come, and it will be done. A perfect example was that baby that supposedly looked at a white woman and they beat him real bad and threw him in the river or lake or whatever in Chicago, and he was blown up like a balloon. Nevertheless, different, it depends on the condition too. But with them being in Atlanta at when the body was found, I'm assuming, right, that what deck in my suit? I don't know if it's still recording. It said it is. Anyway, so since it's still running, I'll just finish up here, because at the end of the day, this highly decorated, educated, a melanated man with a job once in a lifetime wound up in the Chattahoochee River, and everybody just turned the page. I brought this subject up because worst case scenario, what if he saw something, right? Because he in disease control, because we finna experience whatever this swine flu finna bring. Because I'm thinking, if it was me, and you know my job consisted of the things that his did, I would be, if I saw something, I would have left my job and sent the email to these people too. But wouldn't no flirt with a man, because remember, they never even got to a relationship. But they saying he was going back like they had a relationship. It's a bunch of whitewash, if you ask me. The young man is dead, and I brought this subject to the forefront because we finna deal with the swine flu, which I reported January the 11th, 2020, because I was led to do so. I love you guys. I hope this is recording so that my commentary will be in completion. One love. I'll be back because I'm going to make a couple of videos today.